Hey, welcome back. It is January 16th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued and curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie was a foundation to create new Star Wars lore. We all know that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, they had a plan in place to really bring us new lore to the Star Wars franchise that we have never seen, and a lot of this is actually revealed in the visual dictionary, and will also further be revealed in the official novelization and the art book of The Rise of Skywalker, which, by the way, is due for release this March. Now, Disney and Lucasfilm, in case you guys did not know, their big priority right now is exactly how they are going to treat the future of the Star Wars franchise. You guys may have heard that they are bringing in a big reset to the franchise in order to, treat things differently with these movies and these TV shows and the existing canon and future lore to come by, of course, Disney and Lucasfilm for the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, the new Star Wars trilogy, what's really exciting about this is that these three new Star Wars films are really going to evolve the franchise. It's going to introduce something completely original to the Star Wars fans, and Disney and Lucasfilm have one big plan in place that will actually break Star Wars tradition as far as the trilogy format goes for Star Wars as a whole. Now, it's explained that both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently developing their new Star Wars universe and are focused on over 10 years worth of projects after Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Kathleen Kennedy is said to no longer be involved with the new projects on a creative level and will only be planning these projects. However, for the new Star Wars trilogy, it's explained that Disney has a big plan in place to break Star Wars tradition in the concept of a trilogy and what they are aiming to do with these three new Star Wars movies. It said that one of the big plans by Disney is to develop 3 Star Wars films as part of a new trilogy that will go throughout the ages, where the stories will connect to each other with some of its core characters. This would mean that each Star Wars film would dive into a different era of Star Wars, and that Disney is looking at a concept of each movie going backward in time as they go along to go into different eras of the Star Wars universe that has never before been seen on the big screen. This plan by Disney comes from its CEO, Bob Iger, and how they want to develop new mythologies by exploring the Jedi, the Sith, brand new dark side users, where they are also negotiating on bringing back the Roman numeral format by calling these new films by episodes. However, that is currently not finalized just yet. This plan by Disney is to evolve the franchise and to treat it in a different way for the fans around the world, where these movies are also said to be worked on by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to a certain extent, though it's unclear how much creative control they will have for these particular stories. Disney plans, actually, in order to have future TV shows to tie in between these new Star Wars films that will explain some of the story elements of the new mythology. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, you guys may very well be aware that they have over 10 years worth of live-action material in the works, aside from the movies themselves, which that really is speaking volumes. It tells us that Disney has something huge planned for both Disney Plus and for theatrical releases. Now, this plan to break tradition of the trilogy format, I'm not quite sure how I really feel about this, and I would really love to hear your opinion on, what Disney and Lucasfilm are planning to do with this new mythology, where one of the big ideas that they have in mind right now is to actually have each and every movie go throughout the ages, giving us a different era of Star Wars with each and every movie, where it would somehow connect to the last film, and they are looking at a concept of each movie going backward in time. Now, to me, it sounds interesting, because we've been hearing a lot of talk out there that the first film of the new trilogy is going to be set 400 years before the events of the Skywalker saga in a new era called the High Republic era. And then the second film would go, even further, backward, before that, I should say. And then the third film would even go way beyond that. So that would be their trilogy format, their new Star Wars series format. Now, again, like I say, I think the fact that they are also in negotiations of using the Roman numeral format is also a big risk, because if I really have to lay out my opinion here in an honest way, it really doesn't make much sense to use the Roman numerals if you're going backward in time. If you call these movies episodes 10, 11, and 12, it wouldn't make much sense at all. I think what they should do is they should call them chapters or parts, or just give them titles of their own that all interconnect with each other, if that makes sense. So, I'm very excited about this new mythology, nonetheless. I really am. I really, really am, because when we look at these new Star Wars movies, it really is a big deal, because it's something that's not going to rely on nostalgia. You're not going to have Disney and Lucasfilm, relying on nostalgia in order to tell a story. Now they actually have to get down to the writing and tell unique and original stories that we would never expect to see on the big screen. So that's going to be a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm, is to see exactly whether or not these new movies that will feature Jedi, Sith, and new dark side users are really going to work. I myself think as long as they execute it perfectly well on the big screen, it's going to be fine. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear their moans again.